Of course, we know we should all own our own shit man, but I wanted to bring a sense of reverence to the experience. We should have reverence for it because it's part of the wonderful cycle of the world, of the earth. And by creating your own Humanure, you will create microorganisms in the most wonderful topsoil. But first, it begins like this. First, I have this beautiful little polyurethane box I painted. And inside, I put my 5-gallon bucket with about 4 inches of, you can use sawdust, or if you're in the jungle, you can chop up some thatch, something or other. And I like actually to use peat moss. So now I'm going to take my little scoop and put about 4 inches of peat moss in my 5-gallon bucket. We'll just stop. This is Humanure. It actually spells the word. I used composted Humanure and glued it onto my sign. And this is how you spell it. Matches.
Great.
Reading material. Glasses so that my 64-year-old eyes can read. And microorganisms. These little characters represent the microorganisms that we will create with our Humanure. We must be discreet, but dignified. Now, I am reading some very important books during this demonstration. This is called We All Live Downstream, and it's from the National Water Center in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. That's where all us wonderful, fun, wacky people live. It's by Pat Costner, and it's a very valuable Bible. Aquaterra, Meta, Ecology, and Culture by Jacqueline Froelich with Barbara Harmony, again from Eureka Springs. And the Humanure Handbook. All right, this has everything you want to know and more, and great illustrations. Okay, let me focus. You know, Humanure is so incredible. When I discovered it 14 years ago in the rocky soil of northwest Arkansas, I thought, wow, making your own topsoil. This is incredible. All right. Oh, wait, one thing at a time. Last time I demonstrated in the park on Earth Day, I forgot to cover it. My cats were so ashamed. They taught me for years, you always cover it, you always cover it. But I got so nervous, you know, public display and all of that, that I forgot to cover it. So I've been practicing, and this is how you do it. This is wonderful peat moss. And because it's all nice and fluffy, it will create an oxygen environment for the Humanure. So every time I use the restroom, I put the toilet paper in my 5-gallon bucket and I liberally sprinkle peat moss on top. Depending on what is in there, it depends on how much you may need to use. Sometimes you may want to use a match. It's proper bathroom etiquette. Now, when my 5-gallon bucket is full, I will empty it into a 55-gallon drum with little holes punched around the bottom that's setting on a bed of straw or sawdust or sand. And then, after, sometimes it's only a month in the summertime when it's hot, but after a month to 3 months, when the inside reaches 104 degrees, the pathogens will break down and the aerobic bacteria will grow, and that aerobic bacteria will create microorganisms, and it's a wonderful, rich environment. Now, the aerobic bacteria doesn't smell. You know how if you have an unflushed toilet, that strong smell you smell, that's anaerobic bacteria. That means it's growing in an environment that doesn't have oxygen. But aerobic bacteria, the good guys, they love oxygen. So the fluff in peat moss or sawdust or chopped jungle thatch creates a wonderful environment for it to grow. Now, the first year when I empty my 55-gallon drums, I will use it on not food, on plants like flowers or vines. Like this. I can take it right from my 55-gallon drum, and when I empty my 55-gallon drum, after it's heated in the sun, it's amazing. It smells just like topsoil. It doesn't smell like manure or anything bad. It's this wonderful creation. I can't believe it. But then after a year, and we have that year waiting period just as a precaution, then we know all the pathogens have broken down from the sun and the UV rays and all. Then I use it on my bok choy or my Asian salad greens. Look how beautiful this organic bok choy is. A few little token eaten holes because I don't mind sharing with a few of my little insect creature friends, but they save the best for me. So I really encourage you to use a composting toilet. It's wonderful. Do you know every time you flush your toilet, you use from 1 to 4 gallons of water. And you do this probably 10 times a day. And, oh gosh, I have to go to the left side of my brain. Help me if I'm doing the numbers wrong. But it's like 40,000 gallons a year, or some incredible amount that you're wasting. You're just using the water, you're polluting water to transport your Humanure. Go get your 5-gallon bucket, make your little box. There's wonderful resources out there and lots of people that are doing it, sometimes behind closed doors, sometimes right out in the open. I love you from Eureka Springs. Bye.
I love you.